Okay, am I audible now? If you all can confirm. Okay, so sorry for the delay. Let's start the session. So I'm Pragati Yadav, and my rank in GATE CS this year was 285, by which I got MTech CS in IISc Bangalore. Right? So let's just start the session. You can raise your hand one after the other, and I'll unmute you all. So whoever has a question, please just raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat. Okay, so the first question is how to make notes as it is really time consuming. So for that, I always suggest that, if you're targeting this upcoming GATE exam, you only have a few months left, right? So for that, I don't suggest you making notes. The most you can do is make short notes, right? So whatever subject you're studying, while watching the lecture, only if you think that something is important, then you write it down. And apart from that, when you're solving questions, right? It could be PYQs or weekly quiz or test series. So whenever you are learning something new through those questions, then you make a note of it, whatever new concept you're learning or any mistake that you made while solving any question. So make that sort of error notebook, or a notebook where you write questions. It could be mixed, it's not necessarily subject wise, but that you can make. For long notes, you just refer the annotated notes or the topper notes which is there in the course content. You make a PDF topic wise, like subject wise. You make folders, for all 10 subjects, or whatever subjects you have. Make a folder for each one of them and download whatever notes you're referring over there. I would suggest not making handwritten notes with the amount of time left. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, is there any other question? Okay. For MTech in AI/ML, which is more beneficial, GATE, DA, or CS? So, if you specifically want to do MTech in artificial intelligence only and not core CS, then I would say DA is better. With CS also, you can see when you're doing CS, then you can apply for in most of the colleges, you can apply for DA as well as like AI/ML branches, as well as the CS ones as well. But in interviews or whatever, I think if you have more knowledge of DA, then that gives an edge. But at least you can apply for DA. I think in most colleges, if you have given DA, then you're not applicable, like eligible for CS. So if you have decided your mind, if you have made up your mind that you want to go for AI only, MTech in AI, then of course DA is better, because you know f- uh, for interviews, written test, because in MTech AI, mostly there are written tests and interviews as well. So if you take the GATE DA course, then you would have a edge in that because you will be more prepared. So if in short, if you have a straight goal that you want to do MTech in AI specifically, or related fields, then of course GATE DA would be better. But keep in mind that in most colleges you won't be available, like eligible for MTech in CS. Okay, you want to unmute yourself? Yes, I'll just uh, let you. Can you raise your hand? Okay, wait, I'll just unmute you. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, am I audible?
Yes, Raj, you are.
Yeah, hi, I'm Kumar. I'm currently preparing with the job. Remember me, I came 3, 4 sessions back. This month I'm targeting CN and discrete mathematics,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
I only managed to complete CN till now. I have
Okay.
completed CN from the start. I am a repeater. I got 49 marks in the previous year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
now
So with
what should I
about
target? Yeah.
okay, so about 8 to 9 days left, right? And you have to like as per your target, you had to do discrete maths, right? So I would say you can take, if not the entire discrete maths, I would suggest to you that you take maybe one or two easier topics, like you could take maybe set theory and graph theory. Take one or two easier topics, and then you complete that, and don't take a lot of time. I would say set, if you're studying, like see, if you're doing it with job, then it's different. But if you're able to give like 6 hours of lectures per day, then try to finish sets in 3 to 4 days, like, or at least in 1 week you try to finish set and one more topic, like, because they are pretty much easier, right? Most of the things we have already studied before. So that's what I would suggest. And apart from that, you can take a topic of CS as well, a subject of computer science, because see, discrete maths is a very long topic. There are many subtopics within it. So if you do set theory, then you do graph, then there is group theory, then there is combinatorics as well. So there are multiple things, right? Which is why I suggest you to do it topic wise. So you pick any two topics, do it, and along with it, whatever a subject of computer science, other subjects are left, you take that. You could take a shorter one, so that at least maybe you can extend it 1 week in August. So by August 1 week in whatever days are left, you complete that other subject and two topics of discrete maths. So if you take something small as digital logic or any such subject, then you will be able to complete. So according to what you have done and what's left, you do just a few topics of discrete, and then take a topic of CS as well. And
Yeah, one
finally,
more
then you have to
thing.
do the
Yeah,
questions and PYQs of CN also. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm about to ask. I have completed CN as of now, but
Hmm.
how to do the PYQs and revision timely? I'm able to give my time only to the current
Hmm.
running subject, so it's getting difficult for me to revise and solve PYQs.
Right.
Can you say exactly
Yeah.
how to do that?
Yes.
Like
How many subjects have
only
you?
you target me to PYQs or
Yeah.
any topic-wise tests or subject-wise tests do you suggest?
Yes. So that depends on how many subjects you have covered. Can you tell me what all subjects you have covered till now?
Yeah, previously I have covered everything, but this time again I am covered C and CN
Yeah.
only from the go.
Okay. So rest of the subjects are still pending. You have to still see the
Yeah.
lectures.
Yes.
And for the rest of the subjects, like when you prepared last time, did you complete the subject? Are you confident in a
Yes,
few of
only
them, or you?
CN and Discrete I have left, but remaining I completed. Yeah, I can. If I do it again, I think so I can grasp it well quickly. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, because okay, then almost including last year and then this time you have completed CN. So apart from discrete, rest of the topics you have completed. So I would say that firstly, yes, PYQs are important. So right now, by the time you're doing discrete and other subjects you're revising, then you won't have to make notes actually, because you have studied it earlier as well. So this time would be just a revision, right? So the lectures won't take you it won't take you that long to understand the things. So firstly, if PYQs are left for most of the subjects, I would suggest that you start taking out 1 hour a day. Start with 1 hour, and then you extend it, like, 1.5 hour, then two, and so on. So fix that 1 hour for solving questions of PYQs of the subject you have completed. So right now, basically in the 1 hour, you will solve the questions of computer network, and in the rest of the in weekdays, if you are working, then 2 to 3 hours or whatever time is left with you apart from that 1 hour, then you watch the lectures for the rest of the subjects. And if while watching, or another thing is that if you feel confident in the other subjects which you had covered previously, which you think that you know you're good with that, and you still have an understanding and you have some sort of notes, then what you could do is revise those notes and then you solve the PYQ. If after revision you're able to solve 70% of the question, that means that you're good to go. And otherwise also, if you feel like you have done PYQs also and you want to try new questions, so only in the case when you remember things or you at least have some notes for revision, then you can take the test series and start solving subject wise and topic wise test. So that way you will understand which topic is easier for you, and which you're finding difficult, and the one which you're finding very difficult, for that you can rewatch the lectures. But actually in test series, what happens is that most of the questions are challenging or tricky only, so that you learn a lot from these questions. So the best way to test is PYQs. So I would suggest you to first start solving PYQs. Suppose operating system you have done already, right? So from wherever place you had studied, whatever lecture you had, refer its notes, revise it, and then solve the PYQs. If you are able to do the PYQs as well, then you can go with the test series. For test series, if you have done about 50 to 60, like when you're done with half of your syllabus, then you can start with the test series. Because later on in November onwards, you'll have full length test to give and revision as well, so you won't be able to give all the test series subject wise and topic wise test. But right now syllabus completion is Very, very important. So again, in to summarize, in case that you don't remember the subjects which you had studied last time, then you have to watch the lectures first, right? So that your basics are very, very clear. Because if you just jump straight to the test series with no clear knowledge, and if you're referring the solution for every question, then that won't be nice. But if there are any subjects which you are confident in and you just feel that you need a revision, then whatever notes you have or any PDF from where you studied, just revise those notes and do the PYQs, and then you move to the test series when you're done with half of your syllabus. And parallelly, you watch discrete mathematic topics you can watch.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. And again, you can like fix a slot, right? That would help. Uh, or you can maybe fix it question wise. You can decide that you have to do 15 questions or so, that way. So if you have done, also if you have done the subjects last year properly, then I think especially for C and DSA, you won't have to go through all the lectures again. They are pretty logical subjects. So at least for
Yeah,
these two and CN, these three subjects, though, you can start with the PYQ straight, right? And for the rest, you
yeah.
can
I'm thinking of going through
test your
the
knowledge.
annotated notes of the lectures instead of watching the full lectures again.
Yes, you can. And the subjects CN you have done, and for CE and DSA also, I would say that without referring to the annotated notes, also you can try solving the PYQs first. Only if you find a lot of trouble in solving questions, then you can see, because annotated notes also, see, it will take you time, because if you have not watched the lecture, so don't just read the notes unnecessarily. First, you revise your notes and solve the PYQs. Only in case you're not able to solve the PYQs, then you do the annotated notes for the lecture, right?
Yeah, fine. I'll test it in that way and we'll see
Yes,
if I'm not able to solve the questions.
sure.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So there is another question. I should directly solve PYQs after revision, or I should practice, then do PYQs after revision? I mean, both, what's the difference? Like in you, okay. Like in both cases, you're revising and then solving the PYQs, right? Or do you mean that after solving test series, you should solve PYQ? See, Kushi, for like PYQs, what you do is that as soon as you're done with a subject, suppose computer network you have completed, right? So in parallel, if your syllabus is still not complete, you start with the lectures of the rest of the subject or the other subject, right? And in parallel, you do the PYQs of computer network. Now, see, both test series questions or weekly quiz, whatever, and PYQ both are important. But PYQs would be slightly easier than that. Not all, but test series is of a really good level, and it is extremely important as well. So you have to do both. So you could do it either way, right? So firstly, you are done with a subject now, or any subject which you have done like maybe 1 month earlier. Then you revise it, and then you do the PYQ, and in parallel, you could give other test as well. You could maybe solve a weekly quiz of that subject, or you could be solving any topic wise test and then eventually the subject wise test. So you can do it in parallel. The thing is that you have to do both PYQs and the subject wise and topic wise test as well. Okay. If you have any follow up question, then you could ask. Then there is another question by Shreya, that if we have done compact course already, then do we need to do them again in main course? No, Shreya, you don't need to. If you have completed something from compact course, then you're good to go. Just solve the PYQs for that subject, and then the weekly quizzes. And if you're almost like, if you have done half of the syllabus, then I would say then you can take the test series as well and solve the subject wise and topic wise test. But definitely don't have to go through the main course again. Okay, another question by Anika. Okay. By the way, I'm sorry for the, like, if the camera is moving or something. There was some issue with the laptop and I've like joined from my phone. Okay. So I'm a GATE DA aspirant. I started preparing in July only. So far, I've been able to complete linear algebra probability module 1. Can anyone help me out and advise how I can finish my syllabus by November, or at least cover 90% of the syllabus by then? I have the CSE plus DA full course, and I'm very confused. I'm freshly out of college and have been placed, but currently I'm going through online training and will be onboarded in 1 to 2 months. Okay, so Anika, in that case, like if you have to join in 2 months, then these 1 to 2 months are extremely important for you, because once you join like an in-person sort of a setup, then automatically on weekdays you won't be having enough time. So I would say that if you have completed probability and linear algebra module 1, see, calculus is easy compared to rest of the things. Easier in the sense that most of the things in calculus we have studied earlier. Those are not new things, okay? At least in module 1, so everything is covered earlier only. Few things are there which are also doable, right? So calculus, I would say you should not be taking more than a weekend. At least module 1 you can complete in 2 days only. So I think within a week, very very easily you will be able to do calculus. But apart, like just in 1 week you set target for calculus, but not just calculus, you start machine learning also with it. So maybe for the first 6 hours of the day you do, just for example, right, for the first 6 hours of the day you do machine learning. Then for the rest of the 3 hours or 2 hours you do calculus. So following this schedule, in a week you try to finish calculus and whatever machine learning you could cover that way, right? So this way, by August I would advise you to complete calculus, then machine learning also, right? And then you can do linear algebra and probability module 2. So basically, see, if you have to complete your syllabus by November, so you have August, September, October, and November, 4 months, right? So you need to divide the subjects. So for that, maybe uh, in this current week, either you do calculus and along with it, you do linear algebra module 2, right? In this 1 week, you finish these two things. So you just need to divide the subjects. You have set a target that you have to complete your syllabus by November. So for that, you try to divide subjects. How many subjects you need to complete in a month? Don't set daily targets, but do set monthly targets, right? So then like whatever subjects you choose to decide, like with machine learning, see, after module 1 of both probability and algebra, I would suggest you do calculus and machine learning also you start, because it's slightly lengthier. And once you do machine learning, you will also understand the module 2 of linear algebra better, okay? You will be able to relate things better. And also in all of these modules there are so many questions that you don't really need to go somewhere else, like there, because every concept is taught by question only, it's maths, right? So you do that, and then if you're getting very bored, not bored, but if it seems like there's a lot of maths happening, then in between you fit dbms also. Like maybe you can target that by August you need to do la, probability, calculus, dbms, and then machine learning as much as you can cover. So that way you need to divide your basically calendar monthly, right? And also if you have completed entire linear algebra and probability, or whatever subject you've completed 100%, then you start, while watching the lectures for the rest of the subjects, you do the pyqs also, and any weekly quiz which is there, any test that's there, you start doing that. And once you do half of your syllabus, then you take the test series, and then you'll revise. After you take the test series, then you are revising linear algebra again, right? And then you're doing the topic wise and subject wise test of linear algebra. So that's how you have to cover subject wise. I can't really tell you, but I can tell you that if you have done module 1 of la and probability, then you do calculus parallelly and ml. That would be nice, because then you will understand the module 2 also better. So that's it, Anika. If you have any follow up question, again you can ask. Okay, Mayank, you have a question. Let me unmute him and then I'll take the questions from chat. Wait, I don't see Mayank in the participants. I think you're not there. Okay, let me just go back to the chat. Okay, so there is, let me see. Okay, so Sakshi, your question is, sometimes it takes me much longer than the actual lecture duration to complete a lecture because I spend time understanding the concepts and making notes. How can I improve my speed without compromising my understanding? See, Sakshi, I would really suggest that with the time remaining, see, of course, no doubt, if you write a thing multiple times, then you do have a better understanding of it. But right now, with the amount of with the number of months remaining, really, I would strongly recommend not to make notes because it takes a lot of time, right? And basically, if you're not making notes, you're not compromising on any understanding part. What you have to do is that you sit with a notebook and a pen when you're watching a lecture. Then whatever question comes in between, or whatever concept, if there is anything you need to create a flow chart for, or any formula you want to write, or any question that you want to solve first before sir solves it, you do it in a rough notebook, right? You just spend 1 to 2 minutes for that question, and then if you're not able to solve, then just pause, replay uh, play the video again and look at the solution, right? And because, see, if you're making notes, the same notes are available in the annotated notes, also in the topper notes. So you're, why to do redundant things, right, if you don't even have that much time? Because for sure there is no way that if you're making notes you could watch a lecture quickly. Okay, so I would only suggest that you focus on only understanding the lecture. Your goal should be 100% understanding of the lecture. That's it. So I would suggest don't make notes, and as soon as you're done with a module or a lecture, instantly you go to the PDF of the annotated notes and read it. It will take you, even if it's up for about 100 to 200 slides, it will only take you maybe a few minutes, okay, 5 to 10 minutes to go through it. And later on, when you will be revising again, it will not take you that much time. So as I said, don't make notes, right? Handwritten notes you should not be making. Okay, so the next question is, also I started doing topic wise PYQs. I do complete analysis of each question pattern, which takes me a lot of time. I want to know how to optimize that time. See, Shreya, for that you need to, just basically set stricter timelines so you don't, overspend time on a particular question. So if you're doing topic wise PYQs, I would suggest that, if you have a target that this is the subject you need to complete in this week, then for but every topic you will have some understanding, right, how many you have to solve each day. So if whatever topic you're doing, if there are not many questions, then you have to sit with a goal that I'm sitting now, and I will get up only after I finish all these questions of this particular topic. So doing it topic wise is better, because if you're learning anything from a particular question, you could probably apply in the next one also, because they are from the same topic, right? So you do this thing, you set a top, if suppose you're doing questions of data link layer, right? Then you set a target that I will go to bed only after I complete the entire data link layer, all questions, right? And the next day, if you're doing network layer, and you see that there are many questions in network layer, then you divide that I'll do 50 questions today and 50 tomorrow, that way. And also, if you feel like you have a lot of lectures to watch, and by solving PYQs and overspending time on it, you're not able to give that much time to watching lectures, then I would say that you start the PYQ solving only after you've completed your lecture target of that particular day. So in late evening only you sit with the PYQs. That would be my suggestion, right? So even if it takes you time, you will at least not compromise on your lecture hours, right? You will, like, in worst case, you will be compromising on your sleep, and I feel like for a few months that is fine. Okay. Okay, so there's another question. After engineering mathematics, which lengthy subject should I prioritize? COA, OS, or CN to manage my syllabus better? See, all three are, I would say, equally important, and technical, in-depth, related to computer science, all three are equally important. For engineering mathematics, I would have suggested not to do it all at once, because it has so many topics within it, like whether you're doing LA or probability or calculus, they are lengthy, right? And they are not really related to each other. So you could have done one subtopic, and then some, maybe OS, and then you could have done or you could have done calculus along with operating system, then linear algebra along with CN. So engineering maths, I suggest not to do at once, especially whoever is preparing, like still syllabus is left and EM is left. I would suggest don't take it at once, because if you do it right now, then it will take a lot of time and other subjects will be left. If you leave it towards the end, then you will not be able to cover it. So do it topic wise in between. And priority wise, all three are important. COA, OSC, and all are important. So you could do pick any two. Maybe you can do OS and CN together, and then like together in the sense 2 to 3 days you study CN, and when you get bored, then you do OS. So like almost around when a month gets over, then you will have done these two subjects by August. OS and CN should have been completed, and then you do COA along with whatever the next subject is. Priority wise, I would say all three are important. Like even when you come for MTech, if you do it in CS, then also all three are important. So that's why. And weightage wise also, I don't think we can predict as much, right? Because these all three are important basically. So another is, what is the correct way to solve and analyze a PYQ? So when you're solving a PYQ, right, you need to basically you try to solve it on your own. If you don't get it, then of course you go to gate overflow and you look at the solution, you look at the multiple comments that are there, all of those approaches you go through. And then you need to, kind of in terms of analysis, you need to understand that why you weren't able to solve this particular question. Well, if you have just started solving a PYQs, then initially there will be questions you are not able to solve, and that is because we are just starting to solve, and that problem solving capability is not built yet. Because many a times we know that concept, but it's just that we are not able to think that we had to twist it from this angle, or what we had studied in theory we have to apply it in this way in this particular question. In some questions, the same questions which has been asked 4 to 5 times, that same concept is slightly twisted. Or there are some PYQs which has a very new concept only. So in terms of the new concept thing, what you have to do is that you write it in your notebook, which you will be revising later. Because most probably, in most cases, if you're doing it for the first time and you don't get it, and it's a new concept, then you have to note it down somewhere for revision. Okay. And if you are not able to think in that direction only, or that approach didn't come to you, then you just go through that approach, make sure that you understood how that thing was solved, or how the concept was applied. Don't worry that you are not able to solve it on your own, because eventually you will develop the problem solving skill only through these questions. Because see, if you come across 100 questions which you're not able to solve on your own, and you look at the solution that, okay, this is how we did it, then the next time your brain will be, I would say, more powerful, or it will have more problem solving capability. Then automatically you will be able to apply the theory, twist it around to solve the question, and all that will happen. You just keep solving questions, and if you're not able to understand one or solve one, then make sure you spend time into understanding it properly. And see, if sometimes what happens that we spend maybe half an hour and we still don't get it, then in those cases, you just move on, keep that question for later, and after maybe the next day, in fresh morning, early morning, you try to solve it. So don't overspend time also. If you're not able to do it, keep it aside for that particular point of time, and revisit it the next day. Okay, then there's another question. I'm not able to understand the lecture in one go, and I have to rewatch it many times. Same lecture many times. It takes a lot of time. Is there any master strategy to complete you understand one lecture in one time? See, mostly I would say you shouldn't have the need to rewatch it multiple times. If you're watching it on the normal speed, then to if what you need to do is that don't make notes first of all, because your focus should be only on understanding the lecture. So when you're watching the lecture, right, if you don't understand a particular topic, then you just replay that point uh then and there itself, because then the rest of the things you will be able to connect. Otherwise you'll have to rewatch the whole lecture. So and also, if you feel that the topic that was told was too heavy or it was too much to take, then you just pause it and try to speak it in your head, or just speak it out loud. So also, as soon as you're done with the lecture, then before starting the next one, you sort of talk to yourself, think and speak out loud the things that you learned from that lecture, or just the overall summary, the topic, the subtopics, and what was in it. So that way you do it, so that when you watch the next lecture, you will understand it better, you will be able to connect it. And while watching the lecture, the moment you feel you don't understand something, replay that part then and there only. Because if you don't, then you watch the whole lecture and then you don't understand the whole the rest of the lecture from that confusing part. So replay it then and there only, and take it slow. Don't make notes. Pause the video, and whatever questions that are there, there are many theoretical questions also, MSQs or MCQs, which are there in the lecture. So the moment the question comes, you pause the video and try to think of the answer, right? Even if you are giving 2 minutes, don't take 10 minutes or anything. Also, the main thing is that, see, when a question is given and you give 2 minutes to think about it, then later on when sir will tell the answer, then you will automatically have more focus and more attention towards it. So pause it and try take 1 or 2 minutes to think of the answer, and then you match with what sir said, and you try to relate, what you thought, what was wrong and what was the correct thing. So that way you will understand the lecture better for sure. Okay, then there's a question: what is the ideal month up to which the syllabus should be completed? So ideal month would be October, right? Because you need 3 months for a revision again, and then test, whatever subject wise, topic wise test are left, weekly quiz are left, and the full length test series basically. And by October, I would say all your syllabus along with PYQs and 2 rounds of revision at least should be done, ideally. Uh, then there's how to approach linear algebra lectures. It's overwhelming to understand what is happening. So are you on like module 2 or 1? Can you mention it? Like, as per me, see, lecture for module 1, I would say it's still a bit easier, of course, compared to module 2. For module 1, what I used to do is that, see, if I've watched 10 lectures, right? And what I used to do before going on the 11th one, I used to go through the annotated notes of the 10 lectures together. Like from lecture 1 to 10, I used to go through the annotated notes like entirely at once. So lecture 1, then 2, then till 10, and then so on. So basically, you have to revise the lecture multiple times because it is connected. What you study in the lecture today is will be a back end concept for the upcoming lecture. So you need to remember everything from the very starting. It's not like you forget 3 lectures and the current one you will understand. You'll have to remember everything so that you can relate. So for that, I would say the best thing is, of course, you don't need to make notes. What you need to do is that you revise the annotated notes, and I recommend annotated notes because every single thing is there. So also, if you're watching a lecture now, right, for linear algebra, just go through the annotated notes PDF instantly. Okay, then you download it, keep it in your laptop, and then later on, maybe after 2 to 3 days from starting to lecture 10, you watch the like go through the annotated notes again. It is time consuming, but if in your first revision it will be time consuming, but for the rest of it, it won't take that much time, and it will help you understand better also. The only it is overwhelming, especially module 2. I know there are too many concepts, and all of them are sort of high level, at least compared to module 1. So the only thing is revising it as many times as possible, then you will be able to relate it and understand it better. If you read the same thing twice or thrice, you retain it, right? And instead of doing like completing all the lectures then revising it, the best thing to do is you watch 5 lectures, then you revise 5 lectures, then you go through the sixth one, that way. Because if you watch the lectures all at once then revise from beginning, then that won't be of help, since every lecture is interrelated. Okay. Then another question is, for someone targeting 2028 gate, how many hours should they dedicate along with placement? See, I would say, as there are no fixed hours, right? So if one person is able to see, in terms of hours, I would say that study as much as possible, right? There is no such thing. If you have time, then just give your best. You should not be thinking that, okay, I'm targeting 2028, so I could spare 1 to 2 hours for useless activities, right? You still need to give your best. If in your routine you're able to take out 10 hours, then that. If 12, then that. If 6, then just your best that you have to do. And I don't think that it's really possible to divide the number of hours, that this is the time that I'll give to DSA or placement and this to gate. Just you know a sort of go with the flow, not in the sense that not caring about things, but study all the time. And if you're studying for gate for 5 days, and if you want, then you could study for placement for 1 hour in the same day, right? Or just manage time accordingly, right? Um Based on your routines, I would say, I can't tell you the number of hours, but I would say that study as much as you can. Also, in my opinion, that placement and gate are, both require you knowledge, very strong knowledge, but of different things. Gate is very theoretical, whereas in most placement scenario, the things which are asked are pretty different, and that also require very high technical knowledge. So there are people who are able to manage both, and if you can do that, then you need to understand that you will have to give a lot of time, and you'll have to sacrifice on other things. So just study as much as you can is the answer to that. Okay, then another question is, please tell me how to revise a subject after completing it and when to create short notes. Short notes, the best time to create it is while you're watching the lecture only. Because if you watch the lecture, then again you watch the lecture or the notes for making the short notes, then that would be sort of time waste. So while watching the lecture only, if you feel that there is something important, then you can take a note of it. And as per of revision, see, when as soon as you're done with a particular subject, then you will be solving the PYQs in parallel to starting the next subject, right? So while solving the PYQs, one round of revision would be done. Now another is that you'll have to revise the long notes from starting to end completely. You need to revise the long notes. So either if you have your own notes, or whether you're referring to annotated notes, or if you have any PDF or topper notes, whatever you have, you need to go through the long notes for sure. These short notes definitely come in handy, but long notes you have to revise at least twice or thrice every subject from starting to end, right? All the PDFs. So as whenever you get time, again, there's no fixed thing that you have to revise in 10, 20, whatever days. As soon as you get a thought that, okay, this is a subject I studied a month back and now I don't remember it, then you go through the notes. Also, while solving PYQs, mark the questions which you found tough, and on while revising, you could revise it through the questions as well, right? Okay. And when you solve PYQs topic wise, you also understand that, okay, this is the topic. Maybe in topic A, I'm able to solve questions easily, but topic B is pretty tough. So while revising, you would know that which topic you need to focus more on. For the first time, you'll have to spend time in revising, right? It will take time, but it is necessary. It feels like a time waste. It feels boring because you're not learning something new, but it is extremely important. The first revision would be painful, but you have to sit through it. You have to be focused, and you don't have to, while revising, we tend to get more distracted, but instead you need to be extremely more focused while revising and try to not waste time during that process. Okay, so first revision is going to be lengthy, but for the next revision sessions that you will have, it won't take that much time. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, then another question is, just a second. Okay, I took this one. For someone starting their preparation for GATE DA now, how to prepare well and what subjects to focus initially so that it won't affect my study, and how to sync mock test PYQ along with preparation. Okay, I'm not understanding how to study the topic, make notes, and work on mock test all together. Because of my job, I'm not able to find time for all these things. Okay, so again, I would suggest you to not make notes. Okay, because for sure you will be in a pretty uh, pressured situation if you're making notes right now, so don't make notes, right? And now since you're just starting, you don't need to worry about questions initially. You take any two subjects, say you're taking linear algebra and probability, then do these two subjects. Again, as I said, you could do LA for a few days, and when one topic is completed, you do probability for the next few days. Then you revise LA, and then you watch the next lectures for LA. Because in linear algebra and probability, in these maths topics, what you are studying in lecture 1 would be needed in the lecture 10. So um, that way you can't forget or skip anything. So these things, and also these things will again be required in machine learning. So that's why I'm saying that once you watch 5 lectures, then you have to revise those 5, and then you move on to the 6. And annotated notes are, like, I personally did LA from annotated notes itself. So that really helped me, because in revision for the first time, LA took me a lot of time to revise. But now if I can do module 1 revision of LA in one day itself, like all the lectures I can do it in one day, because I've gone through the PDFs 4 to 5 times. So now it won't take me that much. Okay. So that's about it. That you don't make, just a second. Yeah, that you don't have to make notes, right? And you just basically watch the lectures with full focus, sit with a rough notebook, and there are so many questions that sir gives in between the lecture, and you need to solve that. There are so many theoretical questions also, MSQs also, MCQs and numerical also. So try everything on your own first, and just focus on understanding the lecture. Now, to complete the syllabus again, if you have to complete by October, you set monthly targets. Maybe in August, with the days remaining, you could finish calculus, and along with it, maybe you could start DBMS because it's a theoretical subject. Just for example, you pick subjects on your own, and then in August you do LA and probability and module 1, and when you're by mid August, and then you start module 2 of these, and in parallel you start machine learning. Then you complete AI, Python, and the rest of the things. So basically you need to complete your syllabus by October end, and accordingly plan how many subjects you need to complete in a month. Now, as I said, that you're just starting, pick any two subjects and you don't have to worry about questions. So now when two of these subjects will be 100% completed from your end, then you start the next two, and along with it, you solve the PYQs and weekly quizzes of these remaining two. Like, for example, now if you're starting subject A and B, so if you have 8 hours a day, you give all eight to watching the lectures. Now when they are complete, you will give only maybe 6 or 6.5 hours for watching lectures of the other subjects, and in the 1.5 hour slot that you keep, you will be solving PYQs and weekly quizzes of the subjects that you have completed. So that would be the sequence, right? Initially focus on doing the lecture, understanding it. Automatically you will be able to solve all the other questions. Okay, and as I said, focus on just the lectures. After it's done, then you focus on the lectures of the next subjects, and in parallel, you do the questions. And from November, you can start the full length test and the revision again, everything will happen. And in terms of revision, also, there's no such fixed time. You pick any two, like a weekend, you can sit and revise. Maybe if in August you're doing LA and probability, then in September mid, you can just revise it, or whenever you're feeling that you don't remember things, right? And in maths, I would really suggest that, as I said, keep on revising in between also, because otherwise it will be harder for you to connect, because module 2 there are many different sort of topics, right? And all are related, so you need to remember things. So keep on revising also parallelly. Okay, so another question is, how many times I need to revise after completing a subject, and in each revision what to do? Okay, so I would say in terms of revision, you need to revise the long notes to one time for sure, right? So if you have your own notes or the annotated notes, you open all the PDFs for that particular subject and you revise the subject. So one thing is for sure that you need to go through the long notes, right? One round of revision will happen through the PYQs. PYQs you do topic wise. So if you remember that topic, then straight up solve the PYQs. If not, you revise that topic, solve the PYQs, then revise the next topic, solve the PYQs. This is another approach you could use. And the number of time depends person to person. If you tend to remember things, then you will maybe have to revise once or twice only. But if not, then you'll have to revise 3 to 4 times, because it's not like the subjects are tough, but you need to revise multiple times, because there are a lot of things, there are a lot of topics and subtopics, and you need to memorize all of that. So that's why revision is as many times as possible you need to revise. If you want, you could revise daily also, uh, fixed one slot for revising that, before starting the next thing you'll be revising what you did earlier. Or in terms of PYQs, if you're solving for any subject, then revise a topic, then solve PYQs. That's how revision, PYQ both will happen daily, and then lectures also you'll continue to watch. So that's it. So another is, I'm new to Go classes. Where can I see PYQs, and please guide me how to start? Okay, so PYQs, just search on Gate Overflow. On Google, you just search Go PYQ book. You will get two books. One is for maths and one is for the CS subjects. You will get the PYQ there. Another thing is that, see, in terms again, if to give you short pointers, one is that you want to make notes. Second is that since you're just starting, as I just said, that pick any two subjects. In terms of sequence, you need to do TOC, then compiler design, digital logic. If you do first, then it will help in COA, and then you do C first and then DSA. Okay. So that's the sequence. Apart from that, you can start with anything. Pick any two subjects and start. I would suggest you to do the tougher subjects first because that will help you later on. So whatever you find tough, like if you are comfortable with CA and DSA, then keep that for later. So whatever you find tough right now, start with it. Okay, and maths you keep on doing in between because engineering maths is very long. So as you soon as you finish the two subjects, then you start maybe linear algebra and digital logic, right? And then parallel you do PYQs of the subjects which you did earlier. That's how you'll have to do. Okay, then another question is it possible to finish syllabus by October? And if starting from now as preparing full time around? Yes, for sure. If you're giving 12 to 13 hours every day, you can finish syllabus by October. You just need to give your best and make sure that you are not rushing through it, right? You need to your very foundation is the lectures. So you need to really focus on understanding each and every lecture. That's your priority. Okay. So just focus on understanding the lectures. I would say that would be enough. Uh, and you will be able to complete your syllabus by October. If you study all the time, whatever time you have, for sure that's possible. Okay. Make sure to do the PYQs also, not just the lecture. Completing syllabus means subject and PYQ both. Okay, I feel like I've taken all the questions. Right. If anyone else has it, you could raise your hand. There's another question in DBMS compact course is enough or do I need to study full course? For any subject, if you find compact course, then you can do that. You won't be missing out anything. Okay. Are there any other questions? Yash, do you want to unmute yourself? You could raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, so you were doing C and discrete maths earlier. Okay, so do you want to discuss anything now? Okay, so you're on 11th, by 11th July, you're doing C and discrete maths, and now you're doing propositional logic and module 3 of C. Okay, so C, as I said, that don't do discrete maths together, and C is also, I would say, a pretty logical subject, right? So watching the lectures would be very time consuming, I would say. If you're doing propositional logic, I would say complete propositional logic and then you pick another subject. You start with COA or operating system, computer network, start with some other subjects, okay? Because see, if you're starting with C programming and like discrete maths, few topics are easy also, which don't firstly do not make notes. Okay, and if you're watching that's for sure don't make notes. And if you're watching these subjects, no, you don't know that there's other subjects which will be tougher than this, so you will take your own sweet time to complete the modules, which is why I say that keep these things for later on and start with the core subjects that are tough. Okay, right. If you see propositional logic, you finish it quickly in the next 2 days, I would say finish it, right? And parallelly watch C programming also, and then don't take the next topic of discrete maths and you start with computer network, for example. Pick any one of CNOS or COA, okay, or digital logic, whatever it is. Then you do that, and then C also, I would say, I would give more time, right? How many modules are left in C? Like study, increase your lecture watching hours because it shouldn't be taking you that much time. That is for sure. C is one of the easiest subjects compared to the, like, easiest in the sense that it is very scoring. Okay. Then C only if third module is left, then complete it as soon as possible. And if compact course is available for any subject, then take that. All right. So to summarize, as soon as you're done with propositional logic, then maybe try to do it in the next 2 days, and then you pick another subject. Okay, it could be digital logic, COA, OS, computer network. Pick any subject and do C in parallel to it. Then as soon as that, if C is done, the third module, and you're doing C, then you pick operating system, right? So now you are doing CNN operating system in parallel, and take 1 hour a day to solve PYQs of C and whatever topics of discrete maths you have done. So now when CN and OS are complete, then you maybe take another topic of discrete maths which you left now, like propositional logic you did, but whatever is left, right? Say graph theory and group theory is left, then you take group theory and you take COA, right? And then later you take DBMS and another topic from engineering mathematics. That's how. And if you're not able to do it, then try to sit for longer hours, because as I said, C and propositional logic, these things are very logical. There are other subjects which are very theoretical, and it will take you time to relate it and to remember it. So start with those subjects as well. Then later on, see, if you do the COA, OSC, and these things first, then later when you will be doing DSA, that will feel slightly easier, right? In some way. So whatever you find toughest, that you start with as soon as you're done with propositional logic. And whatever is left for maths, do it in between, in parallel to one theoretical subject. Okay. Okay, so there's another question. Annotated notes are more pages to revise. At the same time, making notes also takes so much time. See, firstly, annotated notes are more pages to revise for sure. But if you're making, it is more pages because it is PPT. For sure, if you're going to make your own notes, they will be also very, very lengthy. And whether it is revising through your own notes and through the annotated notes, it will be more or less the same time. So again, for making notes, you're giving a lot of extra time. For revision, it will take the same amount of time. Because see, when you're making long notes, what will you be writing? Whatever sir is teaching, and that is there in the annotated notes. So if you want to reduce your time for revision, then, or if you want to optimize it, then basically you go through the annotated notes PPT as soon as the lecture is finished, right? Because otherwise later it feels very messy. But if you just look it right after watching the lecture, then you get a gist of what's there in it. And while revising, it will take you less time. And for sure, whether it's revising your own notes or annotated notes or any other notes, it will take you a lot of time for the first time. So making notes is anyways some extra amount of time, which is not really needed, because you could use that time to solving many other questions. Okay. So I think we are done with the questions. Okay, so one more question is, if engineering maths is long, can we do it by compact course? Yes, for sure. For whichever subject compact course is available, you do that. And then the PYQs, test series, weekly quizzes, everything. But for sure, go with the compact course if it's there. You won't be missing out on any knowledge, or any topic won't be skipped, right? Okay, then I think we have covered all the questions. So if you have any doubts, you could message me later, right? So for now, let's end the session. I don't see any new questions or any raised hands. So whatever is left, we can discuss later. Okay, guys, bye. Good night. And thanks for cooperating today with the camera setting. Bye.